Yo. Yeah, he was. Uh-oh. Come on back, Ricky. Come on back. Come back. Welcome back to the second segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. It's your boy, Willie Epting Jr. Checking in live, loud, and in color, baby. You already know what it is. To the dopest engineer in the solar system. What's going on, baseball fans all over the planet? You already know what time it is, man. It is getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the postseason, and we're going to get to that here in just a minute. Just in case you did miss it in the first segment, we did talk about those teams that have punched their tickets, those that are on their way, and what if the playoffs were to have started right now. There were some games on Tuesday that I watched between. I'm gonna get to that here. In just a second. But before we move any further, though, this second segment it is being brought to you by Love to Laugh Comedy Show. If you love to laugh, this one's for me and you. As the Love to Laugh Comedy Show comes to town Sunday, October 15th at 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. with actor and comedian Barry Brewer from AGT and Tyler Perry's Bruh and BT's Games People Play. For tickets and more info, visit LoveToLaughVIP.com. All right. So yeah, let's get back to the on the field goings on or on the diamonds goings on. I was saying that I watched a couple games from this past Tuesday, the Philadelphia Phillies, as well as the Atlanta Braves and the Texas Rangers and the Boston Red Sox. Poor Red Sox. I mean, they teased the dirty water people out there for a long time, and it just fell apart for them there at the end. But, you know, I got to give a shout out to my girls, Liz, and of course, Mel, and of course, Chris, and my boys, the Ritz, and the pesky podcast out there. It just wasn't meant to be. Although Alex Cora, you know, he did say that they had another run in them, which I believe they actually did, but it just wasn't meant to be, as they are now, as of tape time, staring up at every other team in that division after being above 500 and really on the outside looking in. Should I say they were in the just a bit outside in many people's rankings in terms of trying to reach the playoffs. So let's get to some too good, too bad, and too ugly. This is the part of the show where we usually do one good, one bad, and one ugly. But I decided to inject it with a little bit of human growth hormone, if you will, for this part of the show. So big day. Come on, man. Good, bad, and ugly. All right. My first too good. The Atlanta Braves. Their lineup consists of Marcell Ozuna, Ronald Acuna Jr., who actually went deep against the Phillies twice in the game against them on Tuesday night. Also, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, as well as Michael Harris Jr. Now, the Atlanta Braves lineup could be the first lineup in the history of baseball. Four or maybe three. Yeah, four players with a minimum of 35 home runs. You have Matt Olson, who's leading the world with 52 as of tape time. You have Ronald Acuna Jr., who's sitting at 39, I believe it is. He's going to get to 40 before it's all said and done. So he's going to have 40 home runs and 60 stolen bases. The first player ever in this game to ever have done that. Then you have Austin Riley, who has had a down year, as I do that in quotes. Ozzie Albies, after being injured at the beginning of the year, has come on. I mean, this dude here, I just can't fathom. He is like a switch hitting Jose Altuve. And I think Jose Altuve is one of the better hitters that I've ever seen. It doesn't matter stature, size, height, weight, whatever, the position, doesn't matter. Ozzie Albies is in that cloud as well. And then Michael Harris Jr., man, the Braves are scary good. I mean, their offense is scary. So that's my number one of the two good. Number two of the two good. How about Adam Wainwright of the St. Louis Cardinals? I think he's like 6,307 years old. I might be exaggerating just a little bit. But the thing is that Adam Wainwright, in I think his 19th season with the Cardinals, after all those years with Yadier Molina, now he has Wilson Contreras back there, gets his 200 win in his career. A great feat in itself. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but I can't see how you would keep him out, because 200 wins is now the new 300 wins. We're never going to see a pitcher get to 300 wins ever again. So congratulations to Wainwright. His teams this year did not perform as well as many would thought. I actually picked them to win the Central, and they're on the opposite end of the spectrum in the National League Central as they're staring up at everybody else. So congratulations once again to Adam Wainwright for that. Too bad. My first too bad. The Los Angeles Angels. Mike Trout, widely respected as the best player in the game for a long time, is he could be on the trading block. And if I were the Angel, or if I were him, and I don't know if he has a no trade clause or whatever the case may be, but he's been injured. I mean, oft injured for the last 3, 4, 5 years, right? And then a part of that is Shohei Ohtani. That's the second part of the too bad. He had UCL surgery this week. He's going to be out in terms of being a pitcher for the entire year of 2024. Now, of course, he's going to come back and be able to hit in 24. But the thing that makes Ohtani unique is his ability to hit the gun at 100 and to hit the bat at 100, or the bat hitting the ball and going out at over 100. That's the unique thing about Ohtani. And it's a shame for us out here who are real baseball fans, or even casual fans for that matter, that we're going to be potentially robbed of this guy doing stuff that we've never seen. Now, I don't know if there's anybody out there that's still alive that when Babe Ruth was playing. If you are, number one, blessings to you, because that is a blessing to be alive for that long. And then, of course, it's always, for me, the older I get, the more respect I have for people that are doing things that I don't think I'll ever see again. So that's my too bad. And it revolves around the two best players on a team that has not seen the postseason, I want to say, since 2000 and I want to say 3 or 4. And then my two ugly. Oh my gosh. The two uglies. I actually have like 3 uglies, because the first ugly is the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's have been absolutely horrific all year. And it makes me want to cry, because you guys know that I am an A's fan. But that team is so hard to watch. I mean, oh my gosh. Outside of, I forget the young kid's name that's leading the league in stolen bases, there's nothing. There's nothing. As a matter of fact, I can tell you this. The only reason why I have watched Oakland A's games on TV is when they play at home, and it's during the day. Because if they happen to show the Bay Area from a high, that gives me goosebumps. That's the only reason why I have watched my team play this year. And it ain't for the team. It's because of me wanting to see the Bay Area and the Oakland Hills and all that stuff. And then my second of the two uglies, and that is going to be the Kansas City Royals. And just like many other teams that have star players on their squads, such as Mike Trout, and they don't really have enough talent around them to make any sort of viable run to a postseason. This is what we're seeing in Kansas City with Bobby Witt Jr., who's a bad boy. He's out there setting records as well. 25 home runs, 25 stolen bases. Or he has, I think he's already got over 30 stolen bases. And as of tape time, I'm not mistaken, he had 29 home runs. So he's going to be the 30-30 guy again. And it's like, to me, these clubs that were so exclusive at one point in time in Major League Baseball, just like the triple-double in basketball. Now you see kids getting triple doubles almost every other night. Russell Westbrook comes to mind. And then here we go with these clubs. You know what I'm saying? Now, a club that, and we talked about it in the first segment with Ronald Acuna Jr., 60-40. Never seen it before. And if we see it again, it's going to be by one of these types of players, the J-Ross, the Julio Rodriguez's, the Bobby Witt Jr.'s, the Ronald Acuna Jr.'s. It's going to be by those guys. And then, of course, whoever's coming up behind them. So that's my second ugly of the too good, too bad, and too ugly. And it's ugly for the for the Kansas City Royals as well as the Oakland A's, as I am perusing through the standings, and only to be reminded that these two teams have a minus run differential of 500 and 500 plus, like 505, I want to say it is. And the A's are a minus 326. The next team with that disparity in runs, the Colorado Rockies. The A's have lost 105 games as of tape time. The Royals, 102. Too good, too bad, and too ugly. And then let me throw this in there as a bonus, because I think this is awesome. And it could be considered a good and a bad and an ugly. And the reason why I say that is because the Tampa Bay Rays are perennial playoff contenders. We've seen it. They've been to the World Series, I want to say 3 times in their history, but as recently as 2020 when they lost to the Dodgers in Arlington. Shout out to St. Petersburg, Florida, for passing a bill or whatever it is that they call it, and getting a new field or new venue built for the Tampa Bay Rays. This is very, very good. And if you remember, they had entertained playing half their games in Tampa and the other half in Montreal. I don't know how in the world that was going to happen. But the bad part about it is that as good as this team is, they do not draw fans. And that is the ugly part, because you're going to have this spacious, brand new toy with nobody to play with it. Unless this is something that will actually usher more fans to support that team, because they are really, really too good for their stadium to look as barren as it does in terms of from a fan standpoint. So that's the too good, that's the too bad, that's too ugly, with a bonus good, bad, and ugly. All right, Big Day. Thank you for that, man. Thank you for the music on that part of it. Let's get on over to, what do I got next? Oh, I got the power rankings, man. So the music train just continues. We got about 4 minutes left to go in this segment. So, of course, what we don't get to on this side, we will come back on the other side and finish up. We got the power rankings in the American League. Of course, in the National League, we've got just a bit outside in both. And just a bit outside, ladies and gentlemen, it is the skinniest of the skinny, because we only have a handful of games left, and those teams that were in it a week ago are no longer in it this episode. So without further ado, Big Day, cue the music for the power rankings. All right, top 5 American League, top 5 National League, just a bit outside American League, just a bit outside National League, top 10 in the majors. Wow. All right, let's get it. Starting in the American League, number 5, I have I've got the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 4, I've got the Texas Rangers. Number 3, I've got the Houston Astros. Number 2, I've got the Tampa Bay Rays. and the number one team in the American League, the Baltimore Orioles, who I believe is going to win this thing. They're going to win 100 games this year, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to win 100 games this year. They're going to secure the number one seed in the American League, and they're going to have home diamond advantage. Camden Yards, y'all stand up throughout the playoffs. Run it back real quick. We got 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes left to go in the segment. We're going to actually have to come back on the other side and finish this. Again, we have at number 5, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 4, the Texas Rangers. Number 3, the Houston Astros. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Rays. And then the number 1 team in the American League, we have, of course, the Baltimore Orioles. Just a bit outside, well, there's only going to be 2 teams. There's going to be the Seattle Mariners, and it's going to be the Minnesota Twins. Now, before everybody gets all up in arms and start adding me on Twitter, and it's okay, at ShakeBack Media Group, hit me up. I understand that the Minnesota Twins are the division, soon-to-be division champions in the American League Central. However, I do not, and I repeat, I'm not fully convinced that they have a better squad than the Toronto Blue Jays. Although the Blue Jays have underachieved greatly this year, I do not believe they have a better squad than those Blue Jays. And then for the Mariners, look, this episode, it could be the Mariners just a bit outside. Next episode, it could be the Rangers just a bit outside. The episode after that, which will be the final episode of the regular season, we can see the Houston Astros as just a bit outside. The thing is that everybody is really just a bit outside unless you are the Baltimore Orioles, the Tampa Bay Rays, or the Minnesota Twins. Because the Minnesota Twins, as I stated, they have a greater than 99.99999% chance of winning the division. As of tape time, there's 9 games left, and they're up 9 games in the division. So guess what? By the time we go to commercial break, they could have clinched this thing, and it's all said and done in the American League Central. All right, let's swing it over to the National League real quick. I'm going to try to get, you know what? I'm not going to even worry about doing the National League. Let's just stay right here with these teams that we just talked about. The Mariners, the Rangers, and the Astros. As of tape time, all separated by 1 game. 1 game. 1 game. And, of course, the Orioles and the Rays separated by 2 games as of tape time. So to say that there's still a great deal to play for is nothing less than the most underrated or most unsomething statement that I can make as we close out this second segment. Thank you guys out there for checking your boy out, man, on Facebook, as well as LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. One social media comment. Hey, Pat Evans, how you doing, Pat? Hey, I'm so excited to talk to you, and you're gonna miss the read. I do that so very, very with so much passion. All right, enough of the gibberish. Let's get on out of here. Come on back here inside the break. # Brothers Baseball Show. Willie Epting Jr. Y'all come on back and holler at us.